9th, 1792. Dear Mr. President, I have received your letter of August 26th. I sincerely regret that you have been made to feel uneasy in your administration. I will do anything to smooth the path of your administration and heal the differences, though I consider myself the deeply injured party. I know that I have been an object of total opposition from Mr. Jefferson. I know from the most authentic sources that I have been the frequent subject of most unkind whispers by him. I have watched a party form in the legislature with the single purpose of opposing me. I believe from all the evidence I possess that the National Gazette, which is a newspaper, was instituted by Mr. Jefferson for political purposes, with its main purpose to oppose me and my department. Nevertheless, I can truly say that besides explanations to confidential friends, I have never directly or indirectly responded to these texts until very recently. But when I saw that they were determined to oppose the banking system, which would ruin the credit and honor of the nation, I considered it my duty to resist their outrageous behavior. Nevertheless, I pledge my honor to you, Sir President, that if you shall form a plan to reunite the members of your administration, I will faithfully cooperate, and I will not directly or indirectly say or do a thing to cause a fight. I have the honor to remain, sir, your most obedient and humble servant, Alexander Hamilton.
Dear sir, I have received your letter of August 23rd. You note that there have been internal tensions in your administration. These tensions are of great concern to me. I wish that you should know the whole truth. I have never tried to convince members of the legislature to defeat the plans of the Secretary of Treasury. I value too highly their freedom of judgment. I admit I have, in private conversations, disapproved of the system of the Secretary of Treasury. However, this is because his system stands against liberty and is designed to undermine and demolish the Republic. I would like for these tensions to fade away, and my respect for you is enough motivation to wait to express my thoughts until I am again a private citizen. And at that point, however, I reserve the right to write about these issues that concern the Republic. I will not let my retirement be ruined by the lies of a man who history, if history stoops to notice him, will remember a person who worked to destroy liberty. Still, I repeat that I hope I will not have to write such a thing. I trust that you know that I am not an enemy to the Republic, nor a waster of the country's money, nor a traitor, as Hamilton has written about me. In the meantime, I am, with great and sincere affection and respect, dear sir, your most obedient and most humble servant, Thomas Jefferson.
Mr. Jefferson, your anti-federalist view of how our government should work is wrong. It is incorrect. We need to have a strong central government where we can make the decisions. Those people that are elected to those positions can make those decisions that work best for the country as a whole, not for the little people.
First off, sir, please address me as a Democrat-Republican, since that is what I am. Secondly, my ideas about the government are not flawed. This government, this country was formed for the people, and we should respect those people, for they are the heart and blood of this country.
Those people are the people that elected those other people to make those decisions. People are not inherently good. Everybody's out for themselves. It is no longer a world in which one person is going to make a decision because it's the right thing to do. They're going to make decisions based on what they want and how it benefits them. We cannot rely on that kind of thought. We must have a strong government where those people elected will make those decisions that will work best for the country as a whole, not individual people.
I absolutely agree that we cannot rely on the people making decisions, because they will make decisions based upon what they want, which is why the power should be with the people and not the select few at the top who think they know what the people want. The people will speak for themselves, and that is what they want. We need a weaker central government so the power can be with the people, Mr. Hamilton.
Hogwash, Mr. Jefferson. We need to have a strong central government that has a national bank. A bank that will give loans to people, to average citizens, so they can start their own business, which will then in turn boost our economy. Mr. Jefferson, we cannot go on in our country without having a national bank. This bank needs to also make sure that we're helping pay back our debts to foreign countries and, even more importantly, the debts to our own citizens. We
This bank
need to have
is against the Constitution. This bank, you do not have the power to create this bank. Nowhere in the United States Constitution does it say that we should create a bank or we have the power to create a bank. We should not have this bank.
And nowhere in the Constitution does it say that we have to have farming as our lifeblood. The Constitution is just that, is a guideline, is a set of laws and rules that you should be able to use to help make better decisions. Not something that you have to read word for word and that's that or that's not that. Otherwise, our Constitution would not last throughout time. It would be stagnant and would only be useful for that specific time. You need to be able to use the Constitution to further your advantage as a country to make better decisions.
Your idea of loose construction of this Constitution is absolutely flawed and an easy way for politicians to abuse the privileges that they have and the power that they so desperately will seek. We must follow the Constitution as it is written. Strictly follow it to the letter of the law. That is why we have the Constitution. If it says we can create a bank, then create a bank. But nowhere in there does it say that we can create a bank. It is a mere convenience for you, Mr. Hamilton, and nothing more than a way for you and your friends to gain money off the poor backs of the farmers who are, in fact, the way this country was formed.
Then how do you suppose, Mr. Jefferson, that we pay off our debt to other countries and our own citizens without having a bank? Because it doesn't say anywhere in the Constitution that you have to pay back your debt. Which means we could just keep spending and spending and spending and be in a bigger hole than we already are. And someday we might actually be in a $16 trillion debt. Go figure. Mr. Jefferson, it makes no sense. We have to have a bank. This bank is essential to the progress of our nation.
This bank of yours would loan money to people and allow them to spend money before they earn it, and I never want you to spend money before you have it. Therefore, you want this bank to give loans out to people so they spend money that they do not have. You want this bank to hold the money of the United States. What will they do with that money? You also want this bank to be able to print its own money. Now you have this centralized bank, the only place you can get the money is from this one bank. That, sir,
Mr. Jefferson, I was appointed to the Secretary of the Treasury for a reason. Because I am a banker, and I know money, and I do money well. You are a farmer. You should have no right to speak about how we spend the money of our country, because that is not your position. Yes, while you do have the ability to talk to foreign nations, because you are Secretary of State in charge of foreign policy, you do not have the right to determine how our money is spent, because any money you give to other countries will come from me. So we do need a bank. We do need to pay back those debts. Because we even have citizens that invested in our government back in the war. They bought bonds. And now they're dealing with the fact that they're out of money because the value of the dollar just depleted and took a nosedive. We have to pay them back because we owe them that.
these bonds you so speak of, all you want to do is reward the speculators that went around and bought these bonds when the prices were so low. While good old John Q. American, he bought those bonds at full price. Now I'm supposed to reward these speculators who ripped off the farmers of America. Why? Because they had money and now they're going to make more money? I do not think we should pay these bonds back at full price because we are not rewarding the people who supported us in the time of our need. We are rewarding those who went and stole from the good American citizens.
Oh, please. Those people made a choice. They made a choice to sell those bonds. They made a choice to decide that the government wasn't going to pay them back. We did not force them to sell those bonds. They chose to gamble and throw it away. It's not our fault that now comes a time where we should pay them back and they don't have their bonds in their hands. It's ridiculous. We need to fuel our economy. In order to do that, we have to rely on business and manufacturing. We can't just sustain ourselves and evolve into a stronger nation with farming alone. It's not possible. We have to give back, and the way to do it is by big business and manufacturing so we can trade with foreign countries and ourselves.
Farming alone, you speak of farming as if it does not make money. Sir, I will remind you that the southern states have paid back most of their debt to the American Revolutionary War. The northern states, however, have squandered their money away to build businesses up and to help further the select individuals who have been building these businesses. So the farmers of the South have been paying their bills, while the Northerners have been doing nothing more but putting more money in their pocket. You say, what is the lifeblood and what is the future of this country? I say farming is. Farming is how this country started.
Yada, yada, yada. We need to fuel this economy. In order to do that, we have to establish a bank. We have to fuel those businesses. We are going to impose tariffs on imported goods so that people will be more likely to buy stuff within our own country. So this money that you say we're generating in the north will then start going to the south because they will use your products from your so-called productive farming more so than going out of the country. We have to do this. And you talk about state debts. State debts, national debts. We are a nation. It says in the Constitution to form a better union. We are one country, not separate states. So your debt is my debt is your debt. The only way to pay off those debts is to combine them all into one lump sum and pay it back together. We are a team. There's no I in team.
As soon as you pay off your debts, I will be more than willing to help you out with any future acquisitions of debt. You speak of these tariffs, the South should jump for joy that we are going to be taxed more by you Northerners. These tariffs do nothing but support your businesses and cost my farmers more money. These tariffs are not going to be good. Other countries will start tariffing our goods, and we will lose business. These tariffs are not what this country needs. We need to focus on the farmers. You bankers are all alike. I remember a history lesson my grandfather taught me when I was younger about this place called Jamestown, where a bunch of bankers came over to look for gold. That worked out well for them. They ended up dying. While the farmers, they survived. You want to know what will survive? Farming will survive. You want to know what will pay the bills? The South has paid their bills with farming, not with big business. Your big business, your Bank of the United States, is not what this country needs. Your Federalist type are exactly the people who are going to take the liberties away from the good people of the United States. While myself and my other Democratic Republicans, we are for the people. We want to give power to the people.
You're delusional, Mr. Jefferson. In order for our country to do more than just survive, it's not about surviving, it's not about sustaining what you have. We need to evolve. We need to be able to compete with other countries on many levels. In order to do that, we have to institute change. We have to evolve. In order to do that, we need a strong central government. We need a national bank that's going to maintain our money. We need a national bank that's going to provide loans to businesses so that they can grow and build the economy. We need a bank to satisfy our nation. We have to have this federalist view continue on. You're separating from that and creating this Democratic Republican garbage that is only going to take our nation and split it apart. And besides, on top of all that, I'm on the $10 bill. You're on the nickel.
Mr. Hamilton, I have one more thing to say. I do think we need to change. I think we need to change the position of Secretary of Treasury, the position of Secretary of the bad bowler hat. That's all.